Hello everyone. So I know it's been a while since I've last made a video where I've kind of just like sat down and talked to you guys. Mostly being like the reason behind that is because I wanted to focus more on editing rather than me just talking and conversing with you guys. Not because not because I don't want to, but simply because I wanted to prioritize my focus on something else. I wanted to focus on creating rather than, well, I guess either way it's still kind of creating, but I wanted to focus my attention onto editing. That's kind of like my passion right now. So I wanted to shift more focus onto that rather than just giving my opinions on the same thing. Cause I kind of feel as though a lot of my opinions I've said so many times, but like I kind of just like word it different, and so I don't know. I don't really feel like my opinion videos are really like it's just me kind of just ranting, which I guess that's the point of me even making those videos for the most part. But I don't know. Anyways, though, point being, even though I haven't done one of these videos in a while, I do think it's still important to make these videos on occasion. I think it's really important for, a YouTuber or, I mean, I wouldn't call myself like a YouTuber like that, I guess, but I think it's important for someone who is making that kind of content and has like a following, no matter what size. It can be like 5 subs or 10 subs or whatever. I think it's important to sit down and kind of like be and like have those kinds of discussions. By discussing, I mean just talking about like genuine serious topics, and I think that's important because I think it helps build a sort of like connection with the person who's making the content and the viewers. And at least and for me, I think that's extremely important. Because at the end of the day, you're human, I'm human, we're all human. And I've always wanted to make it clear that I'm not perfect. Nobody is, but I'm especially. And I always think that's important to remind the audience because I feel like nowadays, with a bunch of content creators, people have this crazy perception that, the person that makes the content, especially with people with high follower counts, that people think that they are flawless. Like they idolize them to this unhealthy standard, and they think that, they can't do any wrong. But the truth is that we all have done wrong. Like to higher degrees than others, but you know what I mean. Like no one's perfect. So you, the viewer, might be asking yourself, "Yo, who the hell is this guy, and why is he yapping so much?" So valid, that's valid. But the reason why I wanted to kind of talk about that for a lengthy amount of time is because I want to tie this in with the main idea of this video. I don't know what I'll title this video yet. I kind of make these along as I go, especially when it comes to like titling and things like that. I just kind of go off of like what I'm feeling at that current moment. So there's that. But what the main focus of today's video and what I want to converse about with you guys is life. So I know in me saying that life, it's a very broad topic because life is it's different for everyone, right? There's so much to talk about in life and like what's going on in the world and things like that you can't really, I mean, I definitely can't talk all about it in one video. But primarily what I want to talk about when it comes to life is struggle. And I want you, the viewer, or anyone listening to this, I want you to understand that you struggling and you thinking life is hard, that is completely normal. And that is completely okay. I know that sounds very cliche, and I know in me saying that that might sound extremely obvious, because you can say that like that's common sense, but common sense isn't really common anymore, and I feel like a lot of people tend to think that since they struggle a lot, that they're a failure, or that they're a loser, they can't do anything right. And I think that's really unfortunate. See, in my eyes, the way I view humans and the way I view people in general, I think any single person in this world can do something positive or beneficial for our planet. No matter how small or how big it is. Anyone can do anything. But it's up to that specific individual to do said thing, right? So, with me saying that, I think sometimes with people, they place these crazy expectations on themselves, or others place them onto them. And so when that happens, they start thinking that they need to be perfect. Like if they make a mistake, suddenly they're dumb. Like they're idiotic. They don't know what they're doing. They're hopeless, and they instantly like kind of just like start doubting themselves. And then once it keeps happening continuously, it weighs on them. And so then they start becoming very emotionally emotional, and they start getting really, upset at themselves and like what's going on around them, and vice versa. And if that sounds like what's happening to you currently, or something like that, or maybe not even in general, or maybe you've experienced it like once or twice in the past, or vice versa. Everyone experiences that. It's normal, and it's completely okay. Everyone has a right to feel these emotions. I don't know what's happened with our world to make others think that people can't feel certain emotions, but it's so stupid. Any man, woman, fucking like elephant, giraffe, dolphin, anyone and everyone is entitled to feel a type of way, because emotions are one of the most realest things that anyone in this world can experience, right? So it's okay to be going through hardships. It's okay to struggle, and it's completely alright. I think a lot of people also have this perception that struggle is a bad thing, and to a degree they're right. No one really wants to like struggle with something like in that type of sense where like they feel like they can't do it, or vice versa. But I think a lot of people tend to forget too that it's struggle that defines us. It's what builds our character. It's what gives us new perspective. It's what gives us new drive to try and like work towards building new things. So while in the moment struggle can seem bad, in the end you have to think of it long term, right? And I know that sounds really cliche, and it's easier said than done. It really is, because struggling in the moment can, especially if you're dealing with something that's really severe or extremely serious, it may seem hopeless. It may seem like there's nothing, like there's no reason to keep going. And I'm not saying this with just life, but I'm saying this with like skill sets even. Like maybe you want to learn how to play piano or play an instrument in general, or maybe you want to edit, maybe you want to make music, maybe you want to learn how to dance. At first it may you may try and you're like, oh, like it's fun, but I'm struggling. Yeah, of course, and that's natural. But I think if we never experienced struggle, we would take everything for granted, if that makes sense, right? So, for example, if everyone was able to, you know, pick up a guitar and play extremely good, then it would kind of like, it wouldn't make it as like unique or special, right? Or like if everyone was just able to sing perfectly and like have perfect harmony, perfect vocals, perfect everything, then you know, I think it would also make it a little less, you know, unique in that regard. The point I'm trying to make with me saying all this though is struggle is completely okay, and it's normal to struggle. It's normal to go through hardships. It's not a bad thing. Do not let other people's expectations and your own expectations weigh you down. Don't let that make you think that you can't accomplish that said thing or that you can't get through it. I promise you can. And if no one else believes in you, then I will be that one person who believes in you. And again, I know that sounds corny, and I know that sounds, you know, really cliche, but I think it's really important for everyone to understand, especially in today's world and climate where everyone's so fucking on edge. Everyone's on edge. So much crazy shit's happening. People are so like parasocial. People are going through all these things. Mental health is at like an all-time low. I really think it's just important for you, the viewer, and for me, you know, the creator of this video, and everyone, no matter what, it's okay to struggle, and it is okay to, you know, be sad. Being sad is okay too. Being angry is okay. Feeling emotions in general is completely okay. And I hate that people, you know, push this idea or this thought process as if we can't feel certain things or we're not allowed to, based on like factors that we can't control or just in general. It's such bullshit. It's so stupid. I think something that I also really want to share with you guys is this, right? So, as you know, perception, you know the saying, perception is 100% reality, right? That and all that means is based on the individual and their perception of the world. That is their reality. And with that being said, to expand upon that just a little bit, we build our routine. We build, you know, the people around us and like who we surround ourselves with. We build these things. It's like kind of like we're building our own world, right? Like the people that we surround ourselves with, the friends that we've made, the habits we make, the time that we spend doing certain things. This all affects our world. Not everyone's world, but ours specifically, right? And again, when I say, you know, ours, I mean it as like our each individual world, right? And so I think it's important for each and all of us to understand that we have a right to be happy, right? I think I've met a lot of people in my life that have this perception of themselves that they don't deserve to be happy because of the things they've done, and I think that's just completely unfair. That's unfair to them. You have a right to grow and build yourself and build a better world for yourself to be happier. You do not deserve to sit there and just be sad for the rest of your life. You only live once, right? And if you live, like, I think you would much rather live a life of, you know, having, you know, of course there's going to be bad moments in life, there always is, right? But you want to have at least some positives to take away before you go. I think, at least with the way I view, I know not everyone views it the same way I do, and that's okay. But with the way I view things, I would much rather have some good moments to take with me before I leave this world. And, you know, that's kind of why I've even started this whole YouTube thing, is because I want there to be some kind of mark, some kind of evidence, some kind of, like, something left over before I go. That's why I made edits. That's why I make these videos. That's why I, do these things. Because I know my time, that the time that I have isn't, it's finite. We all are. We're all finite. But you can do two things with that information. You can take that and go, okay, since we don't have long to live, why not just make the most of it? Like, we only live once, so why not enjoy it to the fullest? That thing, like maybe that hobby that I wanted to pick up the other day that I never tried. Why don't I try it now? That, like, maybe like I want to talk to a certain person, but I was too nervous, but now I want to. Point being, if you want to do something and you want to build a better life for yourself and you want to be happy, then you are entitled to that. You do not deserve to just sit there and be miserable. No one deserves that. So why not try and take what you have and build a better world out of it? Maybe meet some new people. Again, making friends is hard, especially making like true good friends, but it doesn't hurt to look, and it doesn't hurt to try new things. It doesn't hurt to explore different avenues in life. All these things, it helps create a better world. So I think that's extremely important. And again, I just want it to be clear and understood that as well, I know I made a lot of talk about, I've talked a lot about change and struggle and things like that, and vice versa. Again, life isn't easy. There's always going to be struggle, no matter what you do. There's always going to be struggle with like learning a certain type of skill, or life lessons or something like that. Success isn't always isn't always going to be instant in these cases, right? So you won't see instant success when you do these certain types of things. They take time. They take consistency. They take a lot of energy. They take a lot of hard work and dedication. So I think it's important to also keep that in the back of your mind too. But that shouldn't discourage you from trying. That shouldn't discourage you from trying and putting your effort into these things, but it should be looked at as it gives you an extra goal. It gives you something to work towards and build towards, and because of that, you might be able to become a better person because of it, or you might be able to learn a new type of perspective, a new skill, a new life lesson to take with you, and vice versa. So I think that's really important, to be realistic with yourself and to be realistic with what you can achieve, but never doubt yourself, and always understand that struggling and going through hardships and all these things is completely normal and is completely okay. Wanting, being sad and like crying or being angry and like all these things, it is completely okay, and it will be okay. Just always remember, if there's one thing to take away from this entire video, if you're just now listening in and this is the very end, just know you have the right to be happy, and you have the potential to be the best you could ever possibly dream of being. But really, it all starts and depends on you. Will you take the initiative and start trying today and dedicate yourself and put in the time and the effort? Or will you wait another day? Will you wait 3 days, 5 days, a week, month, year, 2 years, 5 years? How long will you take to be the best you possibly can? Time is finite, so it's important that we spend it wisely, that we spend it on things that we enjoy and love doing. Struggle is a part of life. It shouldn't be looked at in this negative thing to be avoided, but rather it should be looked at in this thing of we take it to build ourselves from the ground up to be better and to improve on ourselves, mentally or even physically if you want to work out and things like that. That is the main takeaway. And again, want to reiterate, struggling is cool. It's all good. It's completely normal. Again, I know I said that a lot, and I've been ranting for like kind of like 20. Well, not really ranting, but talking for like 20 minutes. But again, I think it's just I really want to drill this deep in your head. It's okay to be upset and to be sad. You have every right. And if someone tells you otherwise, then they're wrong. Like they're completely wrong. So yeah, I think those are my main points that I want to talk about. Thank you guys for listening, and I hope you guys have a good morning, night, evening, and afternoon, whatever time you're listening to this. Thank you all for giving me your time, or whoever's listening to this, your time. I appreciate it, and I hope there was something to take away from this video, and I hope it made you feel better. And if not, then I do apologize. But yeah, period. Okay. I will see y'all in the next one. Stay safe and take care of yourself.